Welcome back everyone. Time to do another comparison this time around between the newly released Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and the somewhat older phone, the iPhone XS Max. Now the Note 20 is the newer device, the iPhone XS Max is the older one. And because of that, the Note 20 is the more expensive one. This is a $1,000 phone. The iPhone XS Max costs a lot less than $1,000. You can actually pick some of these things up for less than $700 and probably more so around $600. So I'll leave the cheapest ones of both of these I find in the description below on Amazon, so you can pick them up from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now starting off with the front, let's start off with the iPhone XS Max. It's the older one. The iPhone XS Max has a 6.5-inch Super Retina OLED display. It's 1242 by 2688, and it's a pretty good panel. You have 3D touch on it, you have, True Tone, and I think it's a good looking panel. You have a notch up top. I know it's kind of hard to tell with my wallpaper, but it's a very good display. It's a good size too. It doesn't feel super thick in the hand or anything. It is kind of a wide phone, but depending on you, you might like that, you might not like that. But this phone, I think the panel wise, I think it does look pretty good at the end of the day. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 on the other hand, has a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED Plus display. This resolution though is actually lower than what it is on the iPhone XS Max. The resolution on here is the 1080p panel, so 1080p by 2400, where the XS Max was higher than that. So I actually kind of think that in some cases the Note 20's panel may be a little bit better. You do have that fingerprint sensor in the display, which is really cool, but maybe now looking at it kind of side by side, maybe the XS Max actually does have the better panel. As you can see, side by side, you can kind of get an idea of the size difference. The Note 20 has that hole punch display, which is really nice, and that might be why I just assume the Note 20's panel is better. But you can see the Note 20 is the longer phone, where I think the iPhone XS Max maybe be a bigger, with the iPhone XS Max maybe a little bit of a wider phone. So that's something to keep in mind. USB Type-C on the Note 20, Lightning port on the iPhone XS Max, the S Pen on the Note 20 as well, which is really cool. In terms of the thickness, you can kind of see that I don't think one is way thicker than the other one. Maybe the iPhone XS Max is a little bit thicker, but they're very close. They're almost hand in hand. So I don't really think one blows the other one out of the water when it comes down to the thickness of them both. And on the back, you can see I do have a skin on the XS Max, but usually it's a standard, glass back, and it feels very good. It's not a frosted glass back, but I still think it looks and feels very good in the hand, like a very premium flagship phone. A dual camera setup on this phone. With the Note 20, on the other hand, has a glass slash plastic back, but it's more plastic than glass. They're just kidding themselves when they say that. Triple camera setup. But this plastic back is very weird because you're spending $1,000 on a device where you want it to be, the best flagship phone. And in this case, it might not even be like that, fully, because it has a plastic back on it. And you want to feel like you have a flagship phone. With the Note 20, you really don't feel like you're getting it. You feel like you're getting, a substandard device, which is very sad because the Note lineup used to be the best one, but Samsung really watered it down last year and they watered it down again for the Note 20. So in terms of the outside, I can definitely tell you the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, in my opinion, is, a good, phone. It looks good and everything, but the iPhone XS Max is better built, which is a huge asset for the iPhone XS Max, in my opinion. Now, in terms of the software, both of them are kind of on different versions, as you guys know. We're on iOS on the iPhone, Android on the Samsung Galaxy, and what I can tell you is, to each their own. If you like the Samsung, if you like iOS, go for it. It's up to you. But in terms of the longevity of the software, there's a huge chance where the XS Max has the likelihood of outlasting the Galaxy Note 20. Now, the Note 20 is getting an extra year of software updates, which is really cool. So this should theoretically be getting like another 3 full versions of Android. Where the iOS side, I mean, I think it's probably going to get 3 more versions of iOS than a year of security updates. But this has a higher potential of actually getting more updates in the future. Maybe Apple will release an extra update for this, who knows? So it's pretty neck and neck. I'm not too sure which one is going to outlast the other one. The good news is either phone you pick up, it's going to last for a long time. So you can pick up the Note 20 today, you can pick up the iPhone XS Max today, and still feel like you have a very fast, performance device, and luckily have software updates for a very long time too. So in terms of that really pretty much covers it up. Now let's go and do a little bit of a performance and speed test between these two. The XS Max has that Apple A12 Bionic chip, hex-core CPU with 4 gigs of RAM on each model. With the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset, octa-core CPU, Adreno 650 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM on the single model that it's supported. So let's go and see which one is the fast one between these two. Okay, now that we're back, let's go and clear out all the apps in the background and make sure everything is good. Now, I think the angle is good. Hopefully the angle is good from this, camera angle. Okay, all the apps are cleared out in the background. Let's do their app stores. 3, 2, 1. And Note 20 was faster. XS Max definitely was a little bit slower than it. Scrolling through, I mean, you guys can be able to tell, does one seem to be way smoother than the other one? I don't really know. They both kind of seem the same. However, getting into like the multitasking things and everything, they kind of seem the same too. Actually, now that I think about it, phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the Note 20 was faster. Messages, okay, both are about the same there too. Cameras, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that one was pretty close there too. So let's go ahead and get into these third-party apps that I have downloaded on both. You can do Facebook, 3, 2, 1. And they both were really close. One didn't really blow the other one out of the water. Stack, 3, 2, 1. And Note 20 was able to get into the stack panel faster, but the iPhone XS Max was able to get into the add faster. So that's a big thing. I don't really know which one blew the other one. I don't know which one was faster there, so I guess we'll just let that one slide too. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. Another thing to keep in mind is that with these animations, it seems to be the animations are smoother on the iPhone XS Max, even though the phone seems to be faster on the Note 20. Now, another thing to keep in mind, let me go ahead and kind of swipe into this panel. It just seems to me that, I don't know, maybe the iPhone XS Max is the smoother one in terms of the UI, but we'll kind of, figure that out as time goes. Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that one was weird on that one. I don't know what happened there. Do Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. We'll probably have to restart these. And as you can see, but actually we won't have to. And I don't know which one was faster. They both were kind of doing the same thing. Let's go and get resume and see which one seems to be smoother. And like I said, this is a basic game, so nothing's really going to happen, as you guys will be able to tell. Do Instagram, 3, 2, 1. And I think I am logged in here, so a little bit of a difference here too. Bofa, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the Note 20 I think is the faster one, as you can see. The XS Max definitely behind. Not really too sure what's going on with this phone. We eventually do get into it on the XS Max. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And the Note 20 was faster. The XS Max a little bit behind it. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the Note 20 was able to load into it faster. It seems like where the iPhone XS Max is, a little bit behind it, which isn't too big of a problem, you know what I mean? I mean, it's very, very close at the end of the day. As long as you're not comparing them side by side, I don't think, you're going to notice that big of a difference, if I'm being honest. We can do thank you, 3, 2, 1. The Note 20 seems to be faster there. The XS Max a little bit behind it for sure. Going to end it off with the Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the Note 20 was the faster one there. The XS Max still a little bit behind it. And it seems to me that the XS Max is very, very behind. I mean, we'll give it another couple seconds, and eventually we do get into it. So definitely when it comes down to the speed performance, the Note 20 is definitely faster. Let's go and get into some RAM management. So let me go back all the way in the beginning so we can go to the Play Stores. Okay, seems to be about the same. Phone calls, okay, both of them are still open. Messages, okay, both of them are still open here too. We can do Facebook. Okay, both of them were able to keep it open there. We can do Stack, and both of them are able to keep it open there too. Fruit Ninja, and yeah, both of them really keep open. So I think RAM management is going to be about the same on both. I don't think one is going to be way crazier, but I think performance-wise, the Note 20 was probably definitely the winner there. So in terms of performance, the Note 20 wins. Now let's go and hit on the cameras on both. Now the Note 20 has a triple camera setup. The iPhone XS Max has a dual camera setup, two 12-megapixel lenses, wide and a telephoto lens, where the Note 20 has a 12-megapixel wide-angle lens, 64-megapixel telephoto lens, and then a 12-megapixel ultra-wide sensor. And in terms of the UIs on both, you can kind of tell that they're very similar. You have the ability of shooting 4K 60 on both phones, but you do have the ability of shooting 8K video on the Note 20, which is a huge thing. And you have a lot of different options on the Note 20. And as you can see, a ton of different options here. On iOS, we're still kind of succumbed to a lot of different things, like a very basic UI. I really hope Apple brings a lot more capability in the newer iPhones and just newer OSs in general. But definitely when it comes down to the UI, I like the ability of having way more features on the Note 20. But Features aren't always everything if the camera quality isn't great, but luckily the XS Max has a very good camera quality on it. Like I said, 4K at 60, the camera quality is great. UI is also great. Anytime you take a photo, it's very responsive, very spontaneous. You also have some options over here too, which is really cool. So you can go and tap this out and get a lot more options here. And anytime I use this camera, it's great. It does a really good job at, taking photos, and video quality is really good too. But definitely the Note 20 probably has the cake here, you know what I mean? It definitely wins here, and it's fun. And it's funny because I've had hiccups for like the last 10 minutes in this video, and I've had to edit all of them out, which is so funny. And like I said, you have that telephoto lens, which is really cool, just like the XS Max, but you have that ultra wide sensor too, which is really cool. So you can zoom out as much as you want to. And I think that's a really cool capability. That's something that XS Max does not have. So in terms of the camera lenses, the Note 20 wins, but also in terms of the raw features and everything, you have a lot more features, and I believe a better camera sensor on the Note 20 than on the iPhone XS Max. So for sure, at the end of the day, I truly believe that the Note 20 has a better camera sensor. It looks better, you have that 8K capability, and it's just a better phone when it comes down to the camera for sure. Now, ending it off with the battery life, the iPhone XS Max had a 3174 mAh battery, the Note 20 had a 4300 mAh battery, and both have wireless charging, which is cool, but the Note 20 has that reverse wireless charging. And on top of that, I think the Note 20 actually has the better battery life here, which is really cool. So really when it comes down to the battery, the Note 20 is the winner here. And honestly, to kind of sum up this video and to answer the comparison, bro, if you walked into the store, which phone should you get? I'll be honest, the Note 20 I think is the better phone in a lot of different angles, has the better camera sensors, better battery life, better performance. But the iPhone XS Max is still a very, very good phone too. And if you have this phone, I would recommend keeping it. There's no reason to actually go and get a new phone if you have the XS Max. It's still a new phone itself. So I think both phones are great, but I hope I helped you out in this comparison at all. So that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly, everything else. I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.